My name is Liz Casey, and I'm on the Workforce Council, the PCA Workforce Council, and I've been in the PCA program for about 25 years. So anyhow, I'm a teacher. I consider myself still a teacher and an activist, someone who likes to be involved in the community and in working with people. I have had MS for just about 30 years, and started out with didn't seem too bad at first, and I waited to see how it was before I had a child. But after 3 or 4 years still walking, we decided to have our own baby. So that was a big decision with something like MS. But and that became, I was working for the post office at the time, but having been a teacher, I needed a job that was really more stable. So a lot of those first years were about being a mom and living with a chronic disability, you know, and the challenges were huge. And there's so many ways that the state and my own resourceful self supported me. I found the PCA program when Em was about 5, and I would not have been able to be a mom or be a mom with any level of sanity and competence if it weren't for the PCA program. And what I've loved about the PCA program is that as my disability has changed, it has been responsive to that. So that when I've needed more help through the years, it gradually increased. I mean, when I think about what a PCA does from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, it really is astounding. And how many requests I make of a person when they walk in the door. And when they walk in the door, I'm like lying in bed for 2 hours awake, making lists, and I'm like, "Hi, how are you? Could you do this? Could you do that? Could you write this down? Could you?" And just in my brain, they're my essential ingredient to life. And I was joking with people over the years that we should just do a video of the day from start to finish and speed it up. You would not believe how much, you know, just adjusting me in my chair so I'm sitting straight, and now with a broken arm, you know. So it's crazy. It tests one's patience, tests my patience. I don't know how they stay so patient. I really don't. It's really a lot of work. But, you know, we get up, we do stretching, we, you know, empty the catheter bag, we, you know, do the bowel care, and, you know, I say that so quickly, like it's done and over, but it's a project 3 days a week, you know. That takes up a lot of my time. That takes up a lot of their time. And then the day-to-day, helping me keep my desk organized, helping me to straighten up my papers, you know, go through mail, all those things that you take for granted that you can use your hands for. You know, they're just quick. There we go. There's so much more easily done with a PCA who can go through that stuff. The team I have is wonderful, wonderful people. And I really think that's huge part of the quality of my life is, my daughter Emily was saying to me the other day, you know, you and April are kind of like BFFs, you know. I'm like, oh yeah, I know. But it's true. It becomes, you know, you spend a day with somebody, you go through the honeymoon period, you know, which I can always see every time I hire a new PCA. It's like, oh, I got them. They're so happy here. And, just wait. I know it's going to get harder for them, but so it's been always very important to me to, respect the people I work with, to be interested in them. A lot of consumers will say, keep that stuff out of the relationship, but to me, that enhances the relationship so much. It really makes it harder to hold the boundaries or pull back and say, hey, we could chat now, but we've got work to do. But I do believe that's one of the richest parts. I have gone to so many weddings. I have seen so many new babies. Paul keeps saying most consumers have very few PCAs, but I am just the opposite. I have gone through hundreds of PCAs, not because I'm a horrible boss, let's hope, but I think because I tend to hire people who are active and people who I enjoy, and usually those people are people who end up moving on. So some students, but mostly people who are out in the community, and since I've been hiring more people from the community, my life has become a little more settled down. So I have great helpers, but I have a staff of like 8 people, and that's a lot of work. Where would I be without my PCAs? I mean, I do everything because of them. They do drive, and I'd be in bed without them, I'd just be laying around. And it amazes people, even people in my family, relatives who've come to see me, who I haven't seen for a while, come and say, they have the vision of the disabled person. Poor person, in her home, can't go out. They come and they see my life, and they're astounded, with the voice system that I can use with the computer, with the PCAs keeping me healthy, really, keeping me healthy, and doing everything for me that needs to be done. Because of the PCA program, I've been able to continue my work on the Workforce Council, which is a very important role in continuing to make this job of the PCA recognized and valued. I think it has made a huge difference in terms of how the state recognizes this profession and respects this profession. And so that's been really exciting. And it's been really hard work, too. But the gratification that I get from being out in the world working on these issues is amazing. So wonderful. I also plan to go back and tutor kids in the afternoons. I've been thinking about what really is going to work for me, and that feels like a wonderful opportunity to get back and down in the community center, start to do that. That would not be possible. Some very exciting things are happening with the new, well, it's actually a year and a half old almost, the grant that the state has gotten to work on training for PCAs. I'm on the advisory board of that group, helping them to make sure that PCAs are trained in all the different aspects of being a PCA. I'm on the PCA Workforce Council, and back in 2005, when that began, I had a lot to do with it coming to fruition. I was working with the union to try to get this issue out to legislators, that care in the home is really at a place where it is coming into everybody's lives. I'm very lucky to be in this part of Roslindale that's right next to the Arboretum. And I'm a nature kid, so it's wonderful to be out for walks. And this park has been here for the 25 years I've lived here. It's been here for years. But I've been out to it frequently, go for walks on my own. So after helpers leave at like 3, I can go out, finish my work, and then go out the door to take a beautiful walk. I went in there with April one day, my PCA April, and was feeling completely, well, not completely, but kind of frustrated with something. I can't remember what it was. And April said, well, let's go someplace new. And I looked at her and said, I'm in here every day for the last 25 years. But we found a new place to go, a new adventure, up a new path, and just gorgeous, just beautiful. It really helps me get through life a lot. And so I love doing adventures, and I love getting out to Mother Nature, and we'll go to the beach, really kind of a beach bum, do that when we can, and have a good time. Out with people too. Love getting out with friends and doing stuff, going to hear some jazz at night or doing stuff like that. There you go. I think one thing that the general public doesn't really realize about the uniqueness of this program is the PCA program, is that we're used to thinking of people with disabilities as poor little people who need to be cared for. And this program, the PCA program, turns that around. And thanks to the hard work of people about 30 years ago, people who decided that they would rather not be in institutions, for sure. They would like to be out, and they would like to direct their own care. What a difference that has made. You know, when you look around, when I have the privilege of being a part of this community of people who are directing their own care by hiring their own PCAs, by training their own PCAs, when I have the privilege of being around that level of smarts and integrity and cutting edge, if I want to say that, you know, but it really is. It's just so right on. It's so smart. And true, having the consumer hire the PCA is not for everybody. You know, some people may be overwhelmed by it. But for many of us, it's part of what makes us healthy. It's part of what makes me feel ownership in this goal of getting myself out into the community and being an active, intelligent person. So it's hard work, but it's worth it. Absolutely worth it. I don't know if it really is important because it's so personal, but I think having been able to be a mother has been so vital to my life and so satisfying, and absolutely could not have done this without the help of PCAs to get me up and dressed and ready so that I can go out and be a mother and take care of my kid efficiently and caringly and not stressed. So it's kind of like a domino effect. You see it go out into the community through me, my family, my husband, my child or children. It just has an effect like that. They stay healthier.